Hey folks, Mike Dawkins from Worldcast Anglers here with your Jackson Hole fly fishing forecast for the weekend of August 24th and 25th. August is screaming by. We've got fall knocking on our door, and I know there's going to be a lot of angry people out there when I say that summer is ending. We're going to see a little bit of that coming into the weekend with some really cool temperatures, daytime and nighttime temperatures. But don't worry, as we look into next weekend, we're back into the 80s with lots of sunshine. So if you're stuck in your shorts and flip-flops for the end of the summer season and can't wait to put your waders and wading boots on, don't worry, you've got a couple weeks left. We're continuing our Fly Shop happy hour on Fridays, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We've got dollar dries, nymphs, and foam flies, 50% off streamers, dollar tall boys for all of those 21 and up. We've got buy one, get one free hats, and our sale rack is 60% off. So as you've seen through the summer, we're really trying to take care of you dedicated anglers and locals out there with a couple hours on Fridays to come in, have a couple beers, stock up for the weekend, and get going for some time on the water. Palisades Reservoir right now, 64% of capacity. Jackson Lake is 86% of capacity, which are great numbers to see later in the summer. A lot of our tribs and creeks still have a little bit of water in them. As we went through July and we saw that it was oppressive heat of the 90s and 95s, I was expecting Trail Creek and some of these other creeks to be dry as a bone, but they've been holding on in good fashion. Saturday, it's going to cool off, 76 and 42. Sunday, check this out, 65 and 40. Monday's supposed to be really cool as well with a chance of precipitation. We know all of our wildfire firefighters out there are having their fingers crossed for some precip, so hopefully we get a little bit out there for them to help them out. Our 10-day forecast, as I was saying, sunny and warm. We're back into the 80s with lots of sunshine and summer-like weather there coming into next weekend. You're going to hear me say mutant stone. You're going to hear me say Classinia stone. You're going to hear me say like these late summer goldens and things like that. That stonefly is sort of our nocturnal stonefly. There's another name for it. We see those hatch early in the morning during the nighttime. They're about a size 8 or 10. The males have a very short wing case and basically can't even fly. So when we start to talk about our summer hatches ending, those PMDs, the caddis, yellow sallies, and our fall hatches that haven't begun, our mahoganies, our betas, and our Hecuba drakes, we're sort of stuck in the middle with our mutant stones or the Classinia stones, nocturnal stones, and our terrestrials. So if you want to get out early on the water and try to catch some of the mutant stone hatches, the Dawn Patrol missions are going to be the best. Twitching Chernobyl bugs, chubby Chernobyls, water walkers in that 8 to 10 size range can be very productive. Concentrate on flats, slower moving banks, recirculations, eddies, water like that as fish start to move out of their summer water, whether it be for food sources or from pressure, and take up in some nondescript water. The rest of the time is going to be filled with terrestrials, hoppers, beetles, ants, you know, your Schroeder's parachute hopper, your thunder thighs hopper, your grand hopper, any of those are very applicable. Pair those with the dropper and they're going to get you through those midday doldrums when it's hot and it's dry and it's sunny. So this time of year, it's good to have a little bit of everything. PMDs and caddis, because you'll run into those on certain watersheds. I'd have some mahoganies and blue wings, especially if we're going to be in the 60s on Sunday and Monday. And then the rest of the time, I would be plugging my bug selection with your terrestrials, your hoppers, your beetles, and your ants. The South Fork of the Snake, 8,000 CFS coming out of Palisades Dam, 8,040 CFS there on the lower river. The South Fork of the Snake is still holding in during the dog days of summer. The mutant stone fishing has been pretty darn good from the upper down to section 4. It's definitely been a little bit more consistent in the canyon. The small dry fly fishing is starting to wane. Those PMDs, those caddis, you can still find some fish in the riffles or offset of the riffles, but we're really starting to see a lot of fish on the flats eating small Chernobyls, eating little rubber legs, which is a great imitation for that nocturnal stone, as well as some of those mahoganies and some blue wing olives on the cool days. So look for the South Fork to kick into fall gear, you know, soon with some of these cooler weather patterns. The Snake and Jackson, 1,580 CFS coming out of Jackson Lake Dam, 3,010 CFS there on the lower river. Very similarly, the stoneflies, the Classinia stones, mutant stones, have been making their presence known on the snake. Those early morning dawn missions are the time to get after them. The rest of the day can be plugged with your hoppers, your droppers like Duracells, bullet quills, Perdigons, rusty nails, tungsten pheasant tails, anything of patterns of that likeness are going to be productive. We haven't really seen much of the snake drakes, but we have seen a couple mahoganies and, you know, a couple caddis and a couple PMDs. So as I was saying earlier, have a little bit of everything in your fly box. The Teton here in the valley, 286 CFS by Driggs, 586 CFS there on the lower river. This is the first week we've seen the Teton get below 300 CFS. It is low, it is gin clear. It is still fishing quite well considering the summer heat that we had earlier in July, but it is still, you know, in that sort of dog days of summer. You're going to start to see, you know, PMDs, caddis left over. I still would fish a lot of small attractors like little Chernobyls, little chubby Chernobyls, your hoppers, beetles, little, you know, acid ants or your power ant, anything, you know, in that terrestrial ball game is going to be very productive. The canyon in the lower river has been quite good as well, although it is getting low. Water temperatures are staying below that 64, 65 mark, which is really good for our trout friends moving into fall. The Henry's Fork, 800 CFS up there in the box, 1,400 CFS down on the lower river. Last week, we saw some really good fishing on the lower Henry's Fork with that cooler weather pattern. I would suspect the same for Sunday and Monday, and maybe even throw it on your radar with some terrestrial fishing, some nymphing and some of those big, deep slots. There's a lot of weed growth down there this time of year, so your water and how you're going to attack it and pick it apart is going to be dictated on a lot of that vegetation. The upper river is still quite good with dry droppers, golden stones, big, you know, green drake, leftover parachutes, you know, patterns, you know, that are similar to that, paired with your tungsten droppers, as well as double nymph rigs with indicators, has been really good in the Box Canyon. The ranch continues to sort of teeter on okay. PMDs here, you know, honey ants, CDC ants, some of your other, you know, smaller, thinner profiled likeness terrestrials will be productive there as you're trying to cover water. But I think we need a really good, you know, kick of fall weather to get the ranch going in true ranch fashion. You know, our creeks and our tributaries, they're in prime shape for fishing right now. Anything, you know, that's a tributary to the Snake, the Buffalo Fork, the Gros Ventre, the Hoback, the Grays, those are prime for the picking for the weekend. The South Fork and the Palisades River, Palisades Reservoir tributaries, they're all still fishing really well. And this is a great time of year if you're sort of tired of fishing Section 1 or Wilson South Park or the Forest or, you know, something like that. Pack a backpack, get some exercise, go see something new, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Once again, our Fly Shop Happy Hour on Friday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. $1 dries, nymphs, and foam. 50% off streamers, $1 tall boys for those 21 and up. Buy one, get one free hats, and our sale rack is 60% off. Our Fly Shop hours are Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So enjoy the last couple days of summer. They may say they're the dog days, but they're pretty nice out here right now. So hopefully you get out and enjoy them. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.